Go ahead, Mandy.
Thank you. I will say in the Middle East, you said that the administration will continue evacuating U.S. citizens from Lebanon as long as the airport is open. Do you have any guarantee that Israel is not bombing the airport?
Say that one more time. The last part, I didn't hear that.
Does the White House have any guarantee that Israel will not bomb Beirut airport?
So look, we're going to have very direct conversations with the government of Israel about the shape and the nature as we speak about Lebanon specifically, right? And the ultimate scope of their campaign. And those conversations are going to continue. And I'm not going to get into specific conversations that we're having, but it will continue to be very direct. And that's what you've seen over the past year, and that's what's going to continue.
You also said that you're working towards a ceasefire and a diplomatic solution as the best outcome to the crisis. So how exactly will this materialize, considering that Israel has rejected a ceasefire, a diplomatic solution, and Hezbollah leaders have been killed one after the other? So who are you talking to when you talk about ceasefire?
Look, we want to see, as the president has said, we want to reach a ceasefire deal. That's what we want to see. And again, to provide space for that diplomatic resolution, those diplomatic conversations, and we want to see civilians on both sides to return back home. And on both sides of the border, obviously. And so those discussions continue. We have been very clear that those conversations have been continuing for some time now. And ultimately, we need a diplomatic resolution. We understand that. We have to have a diplomatic resolution, and that's the only way to achieve that long-lasting stability, right? When you think about security across the Israel and Lebanon border. And so that's what we want to see. It doesn't stop us from having those conversations, to having those discussions. Today, you heard from me, you heard from us that the two leaders spoke about an array of issues. They continued that discussion about how Israel's going to respond to Iran's attack from last week, and a bunch of other things that are incredibly important to both leaders. We'll have a readout shortly that we'll share a little bit more.
And one last question. In 2 weeks, there is already 8 hospitals in Lebanon are out of service. There is thousands of people being killed. There is 1 million forced to flee their homes, and the Israelis has called in for more troops. So how can this not be a scenario in Gaza that we have seen it unfolding? And second isn't that a mission creep? How do you agree with the Israelis on the outcome of the war if Netanyahu said we're going to continue regardless of what the White House more or less is saying, as long as we are not achieving our aims in Lebanon?
Look, I'm going to say what I said moments ago. We do not want to see Gaza, what happened in Gaza happen in Lebanon. That's what I said, and that is something that we do not want to see. And as we've said, Israel does have the right to defend itself, and to go after their security threats that they see. But one civilian casualty is too many, and we've been very clear about that. Israel must take every feasible precaution to prevent civilian harm. And those are the discussions that we're going to continue to have. Look, you heard from us. We announced some humanitarian assistance for Lebanon for the challenges that they're dealing with. $157 million. We announced that last week to deal with those humanitarian challenges. And so we're aware of what's going on, and we've been very clear. We've been very clear on this.